What if the biggest financial story of our time was actually predicted over 2,000 years ago? There's a silent migration happening right now. A massive, almost invisible river of capital is flowing out of Western cities like London, Paris, and New York. Everyone sees where it's going, to gleaming new hubs like Dubai. And everyone thinks they know why. They'll tell you it's through the 0% income tax, the endless sunshine, and the luxury lifestyle. But that's not the real story. That's the lazy, tourist brochure explanation. The real reason is hidden structural advantage that ancient thinkers, philosophers, and historians like Plato and Polybius saw coming centuries ago. It has nothing to do with supercars and everything to do with the predictable, repeating cycle of history. We're about to decode the secret logic of why capital is really moving east, and it's far more profound than you can imagine. To understand what's happening, you first have to unlearn what you think you know. The headlines scream about a millionaire exodus from the West, and the numbers look staggering. Reports project that a record 142,000 millionaires will move to a new country in 2025. But that's the global total. The UK is projected to set a net loss of thousands of millionaires, and China's facing an even bigger exodus. This isn't a small shift. It's a sound of feet voting and capital taking flight. The usual story blames a few obvious culprits. High taxes are the main suspect. In many Western nations, there's a growing feeling, especially among entrepreneurs, that success is being punished. Capital gains, inheritance taxes, and wealth taxes, the net just keeps tightening. Then there's a suffocating weight of regulation. What was once a framework for a free market can now feel like a cage. A web of rules that stifles innovation and slows everything down. And add in the deep political division and sense of social frame, and the picture gets clear. For many, the West feels like it's aging. It feels unstable, unpredictable, and expensive. These are the push factors everyone talks about. And they're real, but they aren't the cause. They're the symptoms. They're a symptom of a much older, more powerful force. A force that the Greek historian Polybius identified around 200 BC. He called it anacyclosis, the cycle of political revolution. After studying the rise and fall of countless city-states, Polybius noticed a predictable pattern. He argued that every form of government, no matter how noble it starts, naturally decays over time. The cycle goes something like this. A society starts into chaos, and, out of clear sheer of necessity, unites under a single strong leader, a monarchy. It's simple, effective, and provides security. But over generations, the monarch's descendants, born into privilege, forget that their duty is to the people. The monarchy rots into its corrupt form, tyranny. The tyrant, ruling for himself, is eventually overthrown by a small group of the most capable citizens. They establish an aristocracy, a government of the best. But just like before, their children inherit power without earning it. They become entitled and use their positions to get rich. The aristocracy decays into an oligarchy, ruled by a wealthy, self-serving few. The people, fed up with the oligarchs, rise up and demand their rights. They establish a democracy, a rule by the people. In its early days, it's a noble pursuit of freedom and equality. But Polybius warned that democracy has a fatal flaw too. Over time, the focus shifts from creating wealth to distributing it. Factions form. Popularity becomes more important than competence. The state becomes hyper-responsive, amplifying emotion and noise, instead of reasoned judgment. Freedom devolves into license. This is the final stage of decay. Democracy degenerates into its corrupt form. Ochlocracy, mob rule. It's a state of chaos and internal division, where the loudest voices drown out the wisest ones. And out of this chaos, a desperate population once again look for a strong leader to restore order. And the cycle begins all over again, with a new monarch. Now look at the West today. Does any of that sound familiar? That feeling of being punished for success. The endless political fights. The sense that the system is more focused on redistribution than growth. These are the classical symptoms of a late-stage democracy, teetering on the edge of ochlocracy. Polybius saw this not as a moral failing, but as a natural, almost biological process of aging. that every state goes through. Capital is rational. It isn't sentimental. At its core, it's a tool for building the future. And when it senses a system is becoming unstable, unpredictable, and hostile to growth, when the rules are always changing and the future is always a question mark, it does the only logical thing it can. It looks for a new system. It seeks clarity. It seeks a place that's in a different part of the cycle. That's the real problem driving this migration. It's not just taxes. It's a deep structural shift. Capital isn't just fleeing something. It's running towards something. It's running towards an emerging order. When you look at the globe, one destination stands out as the main beneficiary of this great migration: the United Arab Emirates, and specifically Dubai. For years, the UAE has been the world's top destination for migrating high-net-worth individuals. Forecasts suggest it will attract a net inflow of nearly 9,800 new millionaires in 2025. This isn't a trickle, it's a flood, bringing in billions in new capital. So why here? The surface-level analysis points to a favorable tax regime and a business-friendly environment. And that's true, but those are just pieces of a much bigger puzzle. The real reason Dubai is winning is that it has, whether by instinct or by design, engineered a model of governance that directly counters the problems of the aging West. It offers a solution built on 3 pillars. The first pillar is something that's becoming incredibly rare in the West: a unified long-term vision. Western democracies run on short election cycles. A government is in for 4 or 5 years, and its main goal is often just winning the next election cycle. This leads to reactive, short-sighted policies designed for popular appeal, not long-term success. Dubai operates on a completely different timescale. Its leadership thinks in decades, not election cycles. The best example is the Dubai Economic Agenda, or D33. This isn't some vague political slogan. It's a concrete 100-point plan to double the size of Dubai's economy by 2033 and make it one of the top 3 global cities. It's a public roadmap for the future that everyone, from a global corporation to a tiny startup, can see and plan around. This is where that ancient philosophy clicks. The Greek philosopher Plato argued that the most stable state is led by a philosopher king, a ruler guided by reason and wisdom, free from the pull of popular opinion. The ruler's job was to steer the ship with a steady hand toward a clear destination. Dubai's model, with its centralized visionary leadership, is a modern echo of this ideal. It provides the one thing capital craves above all else: predictability. Wealth managers consistently cite this stability as a key reason for relocating. They know that the rules won't be arbitrarily changed next year because of shift in political winds. They can make 10 or 20-year investment decisions with confidence. This stability is a powerful magnet for capital fleeing the chaotic churn of Western politics. The second pillar is a radical commitment to simplicity and what you might call design freedom. While the West has become tangled in a jungle of complexity, Dubai offers a clearing. Think about starting a business. In many Western countries, it involves a mountain of paperwork and a labyrinth of approvals. In Dubai's free zones, you can get a license and open a business in days. The rules are clear and explicit. Then there's a tax structure. It's not just about being low tax, it's about being simple. The UAE has a 0% personal income tax and a straightforward 9% corporate tax. Compare that to the thousands of pages in the US tax code. That complexity isn't just a hassle, it's a risk. Dubai's simplicity removes friction entirely. This even extends to the legal system. The UAE has engineered a brilliant system of legal modularity. For international business, it created financial free zones, like Dubai International Financial Center, that operates under an independent English common law framework. This means that a hedge fund manager from London can operate under a legal system they already trust, all while getting Dubai's other advantages. It's an incredibly attractive plug-and-play approach for global business. This isn't the chaotic, unstructured freedom of a late-stage democracy that Polybius described. It's a designed freedom. Freedom within a clear, simple, and enforced set of rules. For entrepreneurs and investors, this is the most productive kind of freedom there is. The third pillar is Dubai's masterful use of geography and geopolitics. In a world that's becoming more fractured, Dubai has positioned itself as the ultimate neutral hub. It's not aligned with the US, China, or Russia. It's friends with everyone, and an enemy to none. Its goal isn't ideological, it's commercial. It's the modern-day Venice or Singapore, a city-state thriving on trade. This neutrality makes it a safe harbor in a stormy world. Capital from Russia can find a home here. Wealth from China can find a hedge against uncertainty back home. Investors from the US and Europe can use it as a gateway to the fast-growing markets of Asia and Africa. Its airport is one of the busiest in the world, putting billions of people within an 8-hour flight. This isn't an accident, it's a core strategy. While other nations are building walls and choosing sides, Dubai is building bridges for global capital which wants to diversify risk. This strategic neutrality is an invaluable asset. These three pillars, long-term vision, simplicity, and strategic neutrality, are the foundation of Dubai's success. They are a direct response to the decay and the complexity of the aging Western model. So this is where it all connects. We've seen the symptoms of decline in the West and the pillars of Dubai's success. But what's the underlying code that links it? The great migration of capital we're watching is a modern version of the cycle that Polybius and Plato described. Capital, in its relentless search for security and growth, is rationally fleeing states that show late-stage symptoms, complexity, division, and unpredictability, and moving toward a model that looks like a rise of discipline and visionary state. Let's go back to Polybius' disciple. Monarchy, tyranny, aristocracy, oligarchy, democracy, ochlocracy. In the eyes of global capital, the West is drifting toward ochlocracy. The modern mob isn't literal torches and pitchforks. It's the chaos of social media outrage, the paralysis of political infighting, the endless churn of contradictory regulations, the prioritizing of short-term populist demands over long-term fiscal health. It's a system with millions of inputs and no clear, coherent output. It's noisy and unpredictable. Now let's look at Dubai through Plato's lens. He believed the ideal state should be structured like a just person, with three parts: the gold souls, the rulers at the top, the philosopher kings, a small group of rational leaders who govern for the good of all. The role is to provide the vision. The silver souls, the guardians, in the middle, the warriors and operators. Their job is to protect the state and execute its vision. The bronze souls, the producers, at the bottom, the workers and merchants. They are the economic engine of the state. For Plato, stability came from each class doing its own job perfectly, without interfering with the others. It was a system built on role clarity and harmony, all guided by reason. Look at the architecture of modern Dubai. It's a stunningly accurate operational version of Plato's Republic. The gold soul layer is the ruling family and top government. They are the custodians of the long-term vision, the architects of the plans like a D33 agenda. Their function is to provide unwavering direction. The silver soul layer is a vast population of skilled expats, the entrepreneurs, engineers, and financiers. They are the guardians of the modern economy. They're invited to Dubai to innovate and build within the clear boundaries set by the rulers. The Golden Visa program is a tool designed specifically to attract and retain the silver layer. They are given immense economic freedom, but their position is conditional on performing a high-value function. The bronze soul layer is a massive workforce in construction, services, and logistics. They are the producers who build the infrastructure and keep the city running. This isn't a judgment on the people in these layers. It's an observation of a system designed for maximum efficiency and role clarity. The genius of the model is that it imports the world's best talent. The silver souls from India, UK, Europe, without importing the political and social fragmentation that often comes with it. It allows for immense economic diversity while maintaining total governing coherence. This is the secret logic. Capital is migrating from a system of unstructured freedom and cyclical decay to a system of design constraint and functional clarity. It's choosing the predictable harmony of a system, where every part has a purpose over the chaotic noise of a system that has lost its own. It is a trade-off. What is traded for some forms of political expression is an unparalleled level of safety, predictability, and economic opportunity for capital which has no ideology beyond its own preservation and growth. This is not a difficult choice. It is the most rational choice imaginable. So the next time you see another headline about millionaires flocking to Dubai for the sunshine, you know the real story. This isn't a trend. It's a profound structural shift. A quiet referendum on two competing models of governance. It's a signal that the oldest rules of statecraft are more relevant than ever. The West's great strength has always been its explosive, chaotic creativity. But its current challenge is that this very creativity is bred of paralyzing complexity. Dubai, by contrast, has chosen to be an assembler, not an inventor. It imports innovation, talent, and capital, and integrates them into a simple, stable system. It has decoupled Western technology from Western political instability. The migration capital is a canary in the coal mine. It's a leading indicator of where the world believes the future is being built. And right now, it's telling us that clarity is more valuable than chaos. Vision is more powerful than division. And simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. We are witnessing a live experiment. Can the aging democracies of the West untangle their complexity and find a new purpose? Or will the future belong to new, highly designed city-states that offer a different bargain, design constraint, in exchange for unparalleled stability? The movement of money has already placed its bet. If you now see the world through this lens, connecting history to the headlines, subscribe for more analysis that decodes the hidden logic shaping our world. After all, the biggest stories are rarely the ones everyone is talking about.